Hey y'all, my name is Gregory Agid. Today, I wanted to decode 4 essential chord types you need to understand to play jazz. Welcome back to another lesson video. My name is Gregory Agid. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you're returning, welcome back. Today, I wanted to decode 4 essential chord types you may encounter when reading a lead sheet. Today's video is going to cover major 7th chords, dominant 7th chords, minor 7th chords, and minor 7 flat 5, also known as half diminished chords. First off, I would recommend you check out my video on diatonic 7th chords. This video will provide some helpful background on how to create chords from scales. Also check out my video on the Greek modes. That's going to provide some helpful insight on modes and how we create them. And finally, you're going to want to have a grasp of your 12 major scales. So what are 7th chords? 7th chords are typically 4-note chords, a triad, plus 1 note which creates the interval of a 7th from the root to the top note. Let's take a C major 7, C, E, G, B. C, E, G is a C triad, and C to B creates the interval of a 7th, more specifically a major 7th. All 4 of the chords that we're covering today are built from major scale harmony. Let's review the diatonic 7th chords built from each scale degree of a major scale. The 7th chord built from the root is a major 7th. The 7th chord built from the 2nd note is a minor 7th. From the 3rd, minor 7th. From the 4th, major 7th. From the 5th, dominant 7th. From the 6th, minor 7th. And finally, from the 7th note, we have a minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished. We can expand on this concept by creating scales built on each scale degree, and these are referred to as the Greek modes. Remember that each diatonic chord correlates to the Greek mode built off of the same scale degree. Every major scale follows this formula with the Greek modes. The scale built from the root is called Ionian, the 2nd, Dorian, the 3rd is Phrygian, the 4th is Lydian, the 5th is Mixolydian, the 6th is Aeolian, and the 7th is called Locrian. Remember that each diatonic arpeggio correlates to a mode built from the same scale degree. The major 7th chord built from the root correlates to the Ionian mode, which is the mode built from the root. The minor 7th chord built from the 2nd scale degree correlates to the Dorian mode, which is the scale built from the 2nd scale degree. So let's talk about major 7th chords. Major 7th chords are notated as MAJ7, triangle, or triangle 7. All 3 of those things mean major 7th chord. Major 7th chords are most often built from the 1st scale degree and correlate with the Ionian mode. To find a major 7th arpeggio, simply use the formula 1, 3, 5, 7. Let's say we have a C major 7. We'll play 1, 3, 5, 7 of a C major scale, C, E, G, B, and because a major 7 has no alterations, C, E, G, B will be our C major 7 arpeggio. If you have a C major 7, you can play a C Ionian scale, which is the same thing as a C major scale. I just want to point out there's one exception to this, and that's if you see a major 7 sharp 11. If you ever see a major 7 sharp 11, you're going to want to play the Lydian mode, which is the mode that has a sharp 4 contained in it. Dominant 7th chords are notated with simply a 7. C7, F7, G7. Dominant 7th chords are chords that have a flat 7. I want to point out that there's a difference between a major 7th chord and just a 7th chord. The major 7th chord has a major 7, while the dominant 7th has a flat 7. I feel a lot of people initially confuse major 7th and 7th as the same thing. There is a difference between a C major 7 and a C7. A major 7 has a natural 7, while the dominant 7th or 7 has a flat 7. The formula for a 7th chord is 1, 3, 5, flat 7. Let's say we have a C7. We'll start with the C major scale and play 1, 3, 5, 7, C, E, G, B. Then we remember the formula for dominant 7th and lower the 7th note a half step. 1, 3, 5, flat 7, C, E, G, B flat. The scale that correlates with a dominant 7th chord is Mixolydian. The formula for a Mixolydian scale is a major scale with a flat 7th. If we see a C7, we can play a C Mixolydian scale, which is a C major scale with a flatted 7th. C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat. Minor seventh chords are often notated with a minus sign 7 or MIN7. Minor seventh chords contain a flat 7 and a flat 3. In jazz music, we most often use the minor seventh chord built from the second scale degree, which correlates to the Dorian mode. If we have a C minor 7 arpeggio, we'll play 1, 3, 5, 7 of a C major scale, C, E, G, B. Then we'll flat the third and the seventh note, C, E flat, G, B flat. The scale that correlates with a minor seventh chord is Dorian. The Dorian scale is a major scale with a flat 7 and a flat 3. If we have a C minor 7, we can play a C Dorian scale, which is a major scale with a flat 3 and a flat 7. C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C. Our final chord is a minor 7 flat 5, which is also referred to as half diminished. Minor 7 flat 5 is often notated as MIN7 with a flat 5 or minus 7 flat 5, and it's also notated as a circle with a slash in it. Those three symbols will tell us that the chord is half diminished, also known as minor 7 flat 5. The half diminished chord correlates with the Locrian mode. The formula for a minor 7 flat 5 is flat 7, flat 3, flat 5. If we have a C minor 7 flat 5, we'll play 1, 3, 5, 7 of a C major scale, C, E, G, B. Then we'll flat the 7th, flat the 3rd, and flat the 5th. C, E flat, G flat, B flat. The Locrian mode correlates with a minor 7 flat 5. The formula to create a Locrian scale is a major scale with a flat 2, flat 3, flat 5, flat 6, and flat 7. So if we have the chord C minor 7 flat 5, we're going to want to play a C Locrian scale over that chord. We'll start with the C major scale, and then we're going to flat the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th scale degrees. C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat. The formula for creating a Locrian scale is rather complicated because there's so many flatted notes. Because the Locrian mode is built from the 7th scale degree, you can ask yourself, what key is C the 7th note of? And the answer is C is the 7th note of D flat major, so therefore you can just play a D flat major scale starting on C, and that will give you the C Locrian scale. Playing a D flat major scale starting on C is the same exact thing as playing a C major scale with all the alterations. All right, y'all, so let's review all 4 of the chords. On a major 7th chord, we're simply going to play 1, 3, 5, 7, and we're going to use a major scale or the Ionian mode to improvise over that chord. On a dominant 7th chord, we have 1, 3, 5, flat 7, and we're going to use the Mixolydian scale to improvise over that chord. The Mixolydian scale is a major scale with a flat 7th. On a minor 7th chord, we're going to play 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. Over a minor 7th chord, we're going to play the Dorian mode, which is a major scale with a flat 3 and a flat 7th. And finally, on a minor 7 flat 5 chord, we're going to play 1, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7. On a minor 7 flat 5 chord, we're going to play the Locrian mode, which is a major scale with a flat 2, flat 3, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. All right, y'all, thank you very much for sticking with me to the end. I know this video was a bit dense, but I think all of this information is absolutely essential for you on your musical journey. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.